Hello everybody, today I am showing you my completed journal. I briefly showed a bit of this on my last video, and this is made up of my little snips from Crafty Me shop, and also this gorgeous pink lace fabric from Crafty Me shop also. Crafty Me shop is it's a store on Facebook, and the only way you can purchase things from Esme is by joining the Facebook group, and she sells luxury laces and trims and things like that on her page there, and she has a sale usually once a week, and it's a live sale. So they are beautiful things that she gets in her store. And like I said, these blue pieces here actually come from one of the trims. And this is it here. It's a really beautiful trim. It's quite a thick lace, that one. But all these bits are bits that I've got left over from other appliques and things like that. This particular one here is from a pleated tulle trim, and I only had probably that much left of it. So I cut the pleated edge off it and unraveled the tulle to make a bow in the corner there. And I've got a butterfly here, and that is from Lynn Harris. And I've actually glued it to a little bit of cardstock just to give it a little bit more substance there. What else do I have on here? And that's, this beautiful green, lime green applique, or mint green applique there. And that's why I added this here, just to balance it out a little bit. And the back is plain. I have used the edge of a doily around the edge of it, and I cut the center of the doily out, and I've used part of that inside the journal. So I'll put it there, and hopefully you can see that properly. I have a tulle bow here. The easiest way to open a bow is you'll have two tails to a bow. That one tends to sit on top of the bow, and this one sits underneath. If you pull the tail that sits underneath the bow, oops, I undid another one while I was at it, your bows will undo very easily. That's a little trick I learnt quite a few years ago now off somebody's video, and I cannot remember who it was, but it's if you remember to do that, you shouldn't have any trouble undoing bows. Okay, so this is the inside of the journal. I have used a paper line by Couture Creations called C'est La Vie. It's one I bought a little while ago now, and I've been wanting to use it, so I've used it in this journal. I've also used some digitals from Tsunami Rose, and that is the Charming Fragments kit, which I've also had for a few years now as well. So inside I've used this gorgeous blue paper from the C'est La Vie of Couture Creations and made my inside cover with that. I've also put some vintage lace between this cover and the outer cover, and I like the way that looks. I've cut some butterflies from this particular paper and put it over my pocket. My pocket is made up of a beautiful pale pink, I'll bring that a bit closer so you can see, silk from Crafty Me shop, and that's the inside of the doily that I used around the edge there. I've made a little booklet and put it in the pocket, and this is the C'est La Vie collection paper. I love this blue paper. I might have to go and buy a few sheets of that because I really love that paper. A scrap of the edge of one of the laces. I've put a bow on that. And then I have this little booklet, and that's just made up of little scraps of paper, and I've joined them together using fabric. There you go, you can see the fabric there. Each page is joined together with fabric because the strips left over from making journals are usually, narrow strips, and they're not quite big enough sometimes to make little booklets, but if you join them together, you can, and you get a nice little size booklet there. And I've just rounded the edges of that one, so So I'll put that back, and that's to decorate yourself. And I'll put that back in there. I have a beautiful vintage embroidered flower trim down there, and that was my own. I have my first signature here, whoops, stained shot, and that is made up of the Sailor V paper and also the digitals from Tsunami Rose and a printout. I think I got that off Pinterest some time ago, and a little snippet across there with a doily. On the inside of that cover, I've used this beautiful lace. I'll just take that booklet out because I've made it into a pocket from Crafty Mesh Shop. Isn't that just beautiful? And the end of the mesh part is what made the bow on that particular paper clip. And I've stitched it all the way around, and it goes like that and up. And then I've just left the top of it open to make a pocket. And then there is another little booklet. And this one is... These pages were bigger, so I don't need to be using fabric to join them. I've used a beautiful applique from Crafty Mesh Shop and a doily, and just collage some of the papers together by sewing them. And these are just, you know, roughly, I've used a ruler, I think. They were already sort of cut up to a certain degree, and just every so often I've put a little flower with some stickles in the center of it. So that's a little booklet that goes in that pocket there. And then our pages here, and there's lots of little scraps from Crafty Mesh Shop that I've incorporated with collages and things like that. And I can hear Molly meowing, and I don't know why, so I need to go check her. Okay, so it wasn't Molly, it was Bella, and she was meowing, and I think she's waiting for the sunshine to come up because it's really quite chilly here today, and my cats aren't used to that. Okay, so just lots of different papers. I have some washi tape, more collage work, and a lot of these clusters and things I've made at various times, and then I've just incorporated them into this particular journal. They weren't made for this journal, but by adding a little bit of fabric behind them, it helps to incorporate them. I have used a die cut from Couture Creations, which is the My Secret Love collection, and I've cut out some butterflies from those dies and use those throughout the book as well, because I thought, being a floral book, butterflies go with it quite nicely. And that is a part of the pleated edge that I cut off to make the bow at the front here. So I've used that inside too, and I had coffee or tea stained that at one stage as well, just to soften the colour of it. I have a little tuck spot there with a lovely little flower from Michelle Hodge. Thank you, Michelle. And I've just made a tag as well, and I've used a file folder piece of paper. I've ripped the edge, I've put some flowers, and then I've just used my cereal bag over the top. Everybody seems to have different types of cereal bags. This is what mine look like. My cereal bags are shiny on one side and they're matte on the other, and they do make quite the noise. So I like to have the matte side showing up. So I've just stitched that on top, and that makes quite an effective little tag, and another good way to recycle those cereal bags. Just some little flowers there, and I've used a different stickles this time around. I've used this one here, and it is called Glisten, and see how it has all those colors coming through. I thought that would be nice being a floral journal. Just a little collage there, and these flowers are from Tsunami Rose as well. Another butterfly collage, music paper, a little pocket. The music paper was too long, so I folded it up, made a pocket, okay, I see how I've got like the number of the paper or something there. I need to put something over that. Here we go. So I'll just put a little flower before I forget. I hadn't noticed that before. So when I'm making flowers, I sometimes just get a scrap of paper and dot some of the stickles on, and that way if it's just sat to the side here, it's already dry and I can just use that and put that there now, and I don't have to worry about having my stickles dry. I don't always remember to do that, but when I do, it's a little bonus for me. So let's just put that over there like that. Cover up that number. And while that's just drying there for a second, I'll show you the tag. Now, I stitched these tags a few weeks ago. That's some more of that pale pink silk fabric. I sat there with my scraps from Crafty Me shop and just made a couple of tags. I think I've got another one. I didn't use this one, but I made this one as well. And this is kind of what I mean. I stitched this applique onto, what have I got here? Okay, I've got this white linen scrap, and then I've got some of the pink underneath, and then I've got a layer of the mesh edging or scrap piece of the mesh lace from Crafty Me shop, and then I've hand stitched this applique piece on it, and that's what I did. I sat there and made a few of those. I think it was probably when I started making the cover, and then all I've done after is machine stitch that to a piece of file folder, and that makes a nice little tag. So that's one of them there, and then I've put a little tool bow on there, so that should be dry now. So that's an easy way to use your scraps and make a tag. Some fabric down the side, some stitching, another little tuck spot there, and that's from Tsunami Rose. I've had that hanging around for a long time, meaning to put it in a journal or something, and always forgetting, so it's going in here. More butterflies, another little pocket there, and I've just put one of these little cereal bag pockets in there, and I showed that in my last video. Some fabric, paper. That's that beautiful lace that I got from Enchanted by Craft Soleil the other day. Thank you so much, Soleil. I love that lace. It's so pretty. That kind of looks strange, but I actually made a mistake when I was sewing in my signature, and I sewed it. That was supposed to open that way, but it ended up opening that way, and that was a fold, so I had to split the fold. So, but it doesn't matter if it's a mistake. It's in there. It still works. So there's the fabric. More little flowers there. Butterflies, a little collage. Lots of room for writing. That's the way I like to do my journals. There's another collage tag there as well with the file folder on the back. And like I said, all hand stitched and then machine stitched to that. Some washi tape and paper from the collection. That's from the C'est La Vie collection also, that little pocket. And this is another tag, file folder stitched. A lovely image that Soleil sent me the other day. It was very intense in the colour, so I've just put a bit of the cereal bag over the top of that to diffuse the colour a little bit and tame it down, and I love it. It's beautiful. Just a little bit of sparkle and lace, scrap of lace on the side there. Another little collage tuck, and that's just file folder, that one, nothing else, with lace at the top. And my battery is running out, so I will just have to stop there for a minute. Okay, I am back. I'm sorry about that. I mean, it's actually hours late, and but it's totally recharged. So I think I told you that that was a file folder tag in there with a bit of lace, and there's some sewing on this one here. More butterflies, just a paper clip with a little doily center, and that's just folded like that. That was something how I wanted that other one to go, but that wasn't to be. Flowers, washi, just little scraps of laces from Crafty Me shop, which is this lace here. And once again, we have another booklet. These two flowers are from Michelle Hodge. Thank you, Michelle. I think this one came off a shirt front or something like that she sent. More collage papers and just some blank pages in there. And it goes in that little pocket. And that's the end of the first signature. And we have a collage on the back there as well. This is the second signature, and this was inspired by Robin Dudley Howes, who does some beautiful projects over on her channel. I will put a link to her channel in the description box below. Actually, this tutorial, I think she showed it a while ago, and then she's recently put up a tutorial on it. Part 1, I think it was. I'm not sure if she's finished that, but I went ahead and just made a quick one anyway. Beautiful vintage trim there from Rena. Thank you, Rena. And I think that may have come off a vintage nightdress or little dressing gown type garment. That's where I sometimes, if I'm lucky, will find that kind of trim. It's really, really pretty. So this one, like I said, inspired by Robin Dudley Howes. And it's an envelope flippy thing, and that's usually tied in a bow, but I undid it accidentally when I was undoing that one. And that's just some nylon tulle, which is this sort of thing that I found in the op shop a while ago, and it's quite strong, so that's why I've used it for that. So I'll just... I just used the envelopes that I had in my drawer because I haven't had a chance to go out much at all. So they are actually a lot of, some of them vintage anyway, so I didn't have to do much to them. Oops, just let me put that up there so you can see. So a little bit of the Tsunami Rose paper on the front there and washi tape, a little collage piece there. Open that up, and there's a tag in here that I've made out of a index card cut down and Tsunami Rose paper. That one goes in that way. She does say that it can be difficult to get things in and out that way, especially if they don't have a deep V like this one. This one's quite deep, so that's all right. But if it wasn't so deep, you would cut a little bit there so you could have a pocket at the top, or you would cut it down the side to have one at the side. Bit of washi tape. My next envelope is here, and that is a Tsunami Rose flower there. And inside I have one of these little pockets that I made from the cereal bags, and that goes in the top there because I just slit it across the top, and that sits in there. And then you open it up like that, and I have a flip over the top of the index card. The index card just covers this sort of thing. On this side, some offcuts of fabric from Crafty Me shop, and that of course is that beautiful lace once again from Crafty Me shop. I have an applique piece in here that was shared to me by Michelle, so I've got a couple. So Michelle, I'm sharing that one in this, well, I'm putting it in this journal here because it's all floral, and just some writing paper, tea stain writing paper in that envelope there. That's a vintage stationery envelope, and then some vintage stationery on that side of the envelope. On this blue one, we have a pocket that I made quite some time ago, and I have that tag there, and also that one there in the back. They just go in like that. Stack that one up, and then I slit down the side of that envelope and put this card in there as well. I just cut it to that shape. It wasn't actually that shape before, it was just square or rectangle. Just some writing space there, and on this side of the envelope it was a bit too long, so I folded it up and made a little tuck spot in there and put some of that beautiful vintage trim on it. This is actually the packaging for this particular stationery, but it had writing in the center, so I just put a little flippy of scrap papers on the front of that with some fabric, and you can write on the back. And then that opens up, there's writing space there, and then that's a beautiful piece from the Tsunami Rose and some journaling paper inside there as well. And then on the back, just some more. I just pieced a few pieces of the Tsunami Rose to collage it there. And so that one goes like that. That one, I think, goes like that, like that, like that, like that, like that, and like that. And so that's a nice little project to do. And it's attached to a file folder. Just do that up. Like that. Put that down. And so the cover part here is a file folder. And so this is the next signature here. I've lined the file folder with some fabric, and I think that might be sheeting, that particular fabric. I've made a file fold pocket with a scrap from Crafty shop, just a book page tag there with some scraps of paper on that side, and a small collage on that side. I have a tea-stained paper bag here, and I've just got some little end pieces of things in that to decorate this little journal, plus the pocket books as well, because they're blank. So on this side I have some vintage lace doily and one of those beautiful flowers there from Michelle. And because I folded the bag up, there's a little pocket in the side there with some file folder paper that you could make into a tag, perhaps put an eyelet or something on there. And like I said, this is blank, just different papers. That's some writing paper from Vicky, who is from Try Heart 67, I believe. I won a giveaway of hers. It was a card making giveaway, and so I put a couple of pieces of the writing paper in here. There's another bag there, and I've popped one of these cereal bag pockets, and there's a pocket at the top. And there I've just stapled that together. And there's another sheet of that writing paper. So one is white and one is off-white. Little flip there. And then I have some baking paper, and on that I've put some washi tape to help decorate the journals. And that's the other side of the baking paper, and I have more washi tape on that one, a different kind, both floral. And that goes all the way through. There's the other side of that little flip to here. In here I have some pillowcase fabric. It is tea stained, that's why it's that off-white kind of colour. And a beautiful vintage applique piece there as well. That just goes through. And in the back of the bag here I have two little embroidered applique pieces. They're vintage. I have a little bag, glassine bag, and it has some flowers and butterfly. The flowers are punched out and the butterflies are from a die cut, Couture Creations die cut. And then I've popped this lovely little card, and this is also from Vicky, and this was in my prize, and there were a few of them in there, so I'm putting one in this journal. Isn't it beautiful? It's a vintage gift card, and it's so pretty, and I thought it matched this particular journal perfectly, being all floral. And that's the back side of that. That's the back side of that. And I've got some more of that gorgeous lace from Crafty shop. Some more of the beautiful vintage trim. My label and this beautiful paper from Couture Creations. I think I did forget to show you, there's a tag in that large pink envelope there as well. I think, yeah, it's made from the Tsunami Rose Digitals. So it's a large tag in there with some tulle at the top. And that's it. That is the journal that I've put together, and I hope that you like it. It was lovely keeping myself occupied making this. I did start it a little while ago now, but it's nice to have finished it. Finding if I keep myself busy, it's so much better than not doing anything. I do want to say thank you for all the comments left on my last video. I do appreciate all that. It was lovely to read through them. I have read them all, and I've hearted them as well. I am so far behind in answering comments, but I'm sure most people will understand that at the moment, and it's I think as I get time I'll go through and heart on my videos what I haven't answered, because it's nice, but I do read them. There we go, nice little bow there, front of the journal there, and that's my lovely floral journal. And I will be putting this up for sale, but not just yet, because I want the postage and everything like that to settle down. I want to be sure that, you know, when you send something, it's going to arrive properly. So if anybody is interested, like I did with my last one, you can let me know and I can put your name on it, and then I'll recheck when I am about to put it up for sale to still see if you still want it. So just email me if you are interested, and I'll put the email in the description box below anyway. So there we go. I hope everybody is keeping well, and I think that's it for today. So take care, everybody. Bye-bye.